you can see, it's not very secret. Arch Warhammer's new rant Sona is now just, he's LARPing as a Nazi, which, you know, he's using a Starship Troopers logo here so he can have some kind of deniability in a video titled There Can Be No Coexistence, in which he features friend of the show, Dead Domain. Very, very cool. I'm sure he's going to be totally normal. It's a D&D topic as well, so that's cool. At least we don't have to watch his stupid fucking face, but he still can't figure out how to give us the content, like, sort of centered toward the middle of the screen. Like, he could have moved this over a good deal. Like, the border could end, like, right here, and we'd be able to, like... It just feels far away in frame. Anyway, we don't have to give him tips. So here's Arch Warhammer's... he legally cannot be called Arch Warhammer anymore. So here's Arch Starship Troopers telling us why we can't coexist or something.
This tweet right here was a eureka moment for me.
Urethra moment? Well, I'm sorry, sir. I don't know why that's happening to you. Right off the bat, he has a urethra moment. It hurts when I pee. I don't know.
One of those instances where a thought you've already had, but never quite coalesced.
Oh, it moves a little bit. That's fun.
Finally and suddenly formed. There cannot...
Oh, but it's... You don't have to do... I'm giving him tips. You don't have to do the fade. It kind of looks better if you just do it, just a frame swap. That's fine.
Be any coexistence with these people. With the tourists invading countless franchises.
The tourists of what? Invading D&D? He would think I'm a tourist. I've probably DM'd more than most people at this point, and in hours wise, because I am lucky enough to have played for about a decade straight weekly D&D as the DM until very recently, where I get to be a player for just a little bit in between campaigns. It's been pretty neat.
For the simple reason that our worldviews are just simply 100% anathema to one another. Completely opposed. Utterly impossible to mix. Our worldviews are so far separate that our aesthetic tastes are quite literally guts and glory contra gay race.
I'm having a hard time really following where his disagreement is, because he seems to be very focused on making sure he remembers to do the accent. So I'm kind of like losing it. It's a little distracting. I cannot coexist with Nazis. Well, I guess is he even arguing it? Like, this is a D&D argument. I'm wondering how this has anything to do with it. Because the take here that he hasn't read yet is, so Dungeons & Dragons put out, in this realm, your story is yours to tell. And they had some art, and then, like, in it, there were comments with right-wingers, of course, saying, like, oh, it's woke or something. I don't know. And so the response here is, the funniest part of the nerds freaking out about this entirely innocuous and pointless post is that they can't help but show their version of cool, air quotes, cool fantasy is just the lamest, most tired, head-ass, dumb shit imaginable. And it's just pretty basic stuff. I think this piece of art is pretty good. I can't really see what would this one... I think this is just regular Dungeons & Dragons. This is pretty basic stuff, and this is definitely super basic. I like this one. But I agree that it doesn't... I think the point here is that it doesn't have to be a beholder fucking every time or whatever. Like they even have a beholder in this, and it's cute. It's a cute beholder. They just put out some art. Your story is yours to tell. I don't know why. Like, you could do grimdark fantasy still. I'm not sure why the right-wingers get mad. They literally just put out a huge setting called Grim Hollow that has all the grimdark shit they want in it, I'm sure.
Orgies.
So here's the piece of art that he's mad about, which is cute. I guess it's because these two are dancing, and maybe because these two are, like, hanging out next to each other.
They click the last piece into place for me. Gatekeep? Yes. Resist where possible? Absolutely. Mock and point fingers at D&D in the hope to shame them into doing better? For sure. But most...
For sure. Still kind of losing the plot with him because of the accent. So he's upset about this, and I'm wondering why. You just don't have to do... Like, my campaign doesn't look like this. I don't have this vibe in my campaign all the time. Although, like, at a party, you might see some of this shit. I don't know why you wouldn't. But I don't have, like, whatever's going on here.
Important of all is the realization that there is no integration here. There are no compromises that can be made. No agreements that can be struck.
With what? He's being so vague. He's just sort of like complaining. Classic right-winger. Just complaining. But about what? I don't know. I don't like that this beholder is cute. I hate it. I don't like to see happy people at a party in a fantasy realm. I don't know why.
There is only, definitionally, absolute surrender or absolute rejection. A perhaps pinch pessimistic and yet also eminently realistic take that I will now go on to elaborate on. But many do indeed disagree with my doomsday take.
I disagree if someone comes to my table and wants to see rainbows and unicorns. I respectfully explain that my table is gritty cosmic horror and suggest they find a different table. Every table is different. I won't deny them their table, but I don't have to play at it. I mean, that's fine. Respectfully explain that my table is gritty cosmic horror. Mormon Jesus. Every game you play is gritty cosmic horror? That's fun. I mean, I like gritty cosmic horror, and I also would play in someone's rainbows and unicorns thing if they had an idea for a game. Archcast, and then they report you for being an evil bigot, and in the next edition of D&D there is a disclaimer going, we condemn evil bigots who play cosmic horror settings. We can always do what we want privately, but D&D did not become what it has because of private forces. They like the cosmic horror setting. I don't know what you're upset about. What do you want? What is happening here that is saying... Yeah, they had to pretend to be a victim over toys. I know. I don't understand he's just saying he's mad that what if they say we condemn evil bigots who play cosmic horror settings? What if they did that? I would be mad. It's just such a strange way to live your life.
Better, more hopeful people than me point out that our imagination yet remains. So the fact that D&D has become flowers and rainbows and...
Become flowers and rainbows? You can have flowers and rainbows if you want. Look, my D&D is stabbing slavers to death and lots of blood, so... Literally, okay, yeah. The last campaign I ran had plenty of fucking blood and grim fucking stuff going on. I don't know why... He pretends that the wokies aren't talking about anything. Dark. It's very strange.
Endless gay couples.
Endless gay couples. Do you think there'll be straight couples too? At my table, we had one gay and one straight couple. Although I think both of the people in the straight relationship. No, I think one of them. Is Aramil bi, technically? I think he's pan.
You, sir, are a weak, timid, and untrustworthy homosexual.
But I think he gravitates toward mommies.
Happy beholders does not mean that someone else cannot...
I do not think that's true. I think the TTRPG hobby space is huge. I think D&D is also a huge space, but a lot of times people exist in their own bubble and do not notice what is happening outside of it, except this is official D&D. This is not some homebrew featured for additional choice. This is now what D&D actually is. It's a picture! It's one picture in D&D! This is not saying this is what D&D is. That's what a baby fucking take. If I go to the D&D fucking page, I'm gonna go to Twitter. Now we have to find out. I don't even fucking pay attention. How a dungeon master sees the world. Wow. So is this not badass enough? I'm sorry, is this not badass? This isn't dark enough? These people are dead. This is violence, gore. One-line D&D horror stories. Look at this art that they put out. Is this not badass enough? Oh, I'm sorry. We're not grimdark with the fucking corpses climbing up. Castles and knights. Fucking guy with a flagon. That's a whole ass flagon, dude. Look at this. The Lady of Pain? What you even know about the Lady of Pain, bro? Modrons? More Modrons? Wow. Is that a Deva? Wow, and a null. Holy shit, man. Gith. Looks like Githzerai, if I had to take a guess. Ooh, we got some Fey things happening. Little red cap action. What is this fucking thing? Is this Nyarlathotep? What is happening? What is this? I don't even know what that is. I gotta scroll to find out what. Wonky Multiverse, 2 years, Planescape, Adventures of the Multiverse. Who is this? What is this? Let's go. This looks cool. I haven't seen any woke shit yet, by the way. Am I supposed to see woke shit? Where's the woke stuff? Oh, here it is. Here's the woke. In this realm, it's your story to tell. There it is. Tap or click to find a Dungeons & Dragons Pride collection. Aww. Fall Pride. It's woke. Look at this. I'm really not finding a gelatinous cube. Planescape Adventures in the Multiverse. Drits. They love their drits. Oh, they do Sigil in the Outlands. Mort's Planar Parade. Turn of Fortune's Wheel. Cool. Planescape is a wild fucking setting, dude. So if you want grimdark shit or, whatever, D&D has stat blocks for you that you will like. I don't even care if you support Wizards of the Coast. I homebrew fucking everything. I haven't paid them in years for anything. I haven't needed them. I'm my own man.
Not imagine.
I literally homebrew everything now. I might look at stuff for like I have stat blocks. Oh shit, I don't even have them up right now. That's crazy. Wow, I haven't been DMing for long enough that I stopped having just all my books open in the side. We're almost cleansed of the burnout. But I'll use something like Flea Mortals, for instance, which I've shown before, which is really cool. Great example. I'll show you an ogre. Ogre is, of course, big guys like this. People bowling. The ogre throws one medium or smaller creature they are grappling up to 30 feet horizontally. Each creature in the throne's creature pass must succeed on a dexterity saving throw. That's amazing. Anyway, so I'll look at something like this, and I'll be like, okay, well, I want something like an ogre, but not quite an ogre. What do ogres do? And I'll look at this, and I'll maybe get inspired, and then I'll make my own shit. But, I mean, at most, it's like just to make sure that I'm working within the right layout. But I don't know. I haven't needed Wizards of the Coast in a long time for anything, and that wasn't even Wizards, so play the D&D you want to play. Or don't play D&D. Play fucking Pathfinder. Play something else. I don't give a shit. No one is telling you how to play your own fucking game. It's such baby shit to care.
Themselves on an adventure to slay a dragon. And this is, of course, true. You are still free to walk up into the forest, pick up a stick, and brandish it at a particularly large rock, and declare it to be a troll.
Okay.
But this was not an ability granted to you by D&D. It might have been an inspiration for sure, but we can all imagine things, and we all did. Countless adventures were written for D&D, everything from comedy to horror, from fantasy to post-apocalypse, from the light and hopeful to the grim and dark.
So, you are agreeing that Dungeons & Dragons can depict a wide variety of different kinds of games to play, and it's valid? You're not disagreeing with anything. You're just agreeing with D&D right now.
But then, even as everyone else were writing everything beneath the sun, a new kind of person arrived.
You forgot to roll your R.
And they too could simply have imagined. They could, in the privacy of their own homes and tables...
What does this picture have to do with D&D? Is this bad also? Is the squirt gun parade bad? Am I supposed to be outraged at the squirt gun parade? Because I'm not. I'm seeing gleeful people enjoying a parade, smiling and laughing. I'm seeing people back here having a good time. Look at the smiles. You can see the cheeks on this person enjoying the shit out of it. Loves a squirt gun parade. This guy's fucking pumped.
Have dreamt up the gayest adventures ever made. Indeed, they could even have released them, and were they to be put up on the marketplace alongside everything else, it would merely have been a choice, an option. And indeed, some did, but far too many that came from the outside entered into this hobby and others with no intent whatsoever to do so.
To do what? People have joined the hobby and they express themselves differently than me, I presume. Like, it's really just speculative of him that all their games are gay as fuck. I've seen there's plenty of gay fucking super queer people who play tabletop RPGs, and there's not gay shit all over it. It's like it'll be a grim, dark monster hunting fantasy. It'll be like really brooding vampire stuff. I don't know. Like who knows? We'll do all sorts of shit. Wouldn't it be funny? Okay, this sounds like a great game. A bunch of very queer people play incredibly stereotypically masculine, straight, or heterosexual, feminine in the like 90s ideal, and those are their characters. And they're like trying to act as straight for character's sake. That'd be funny as fuck. Critical Role, that is not the case. They're all gay. Well, they're not all gay, but they're all fine to be gay.
They got into D&D because it was chic.
Literally, Critical Role comes up. It's chic? I was into D&D before I knew what Critical Role was, thank you.
The geek style so many people adopted as a fashion choice these last couple of decades.
Why are you pretending like you have friends and play tabletop RPGs and it's not just Warhammer at a game store that you've been kicked out of? Come on. D&D is just like, it's its own thing, man. He's just not, I just can't imagine him sitting at a table with other people and having a good time.
Them, the hobby was an accessory. But whilst they desired the
it's not an accessory to especially Critical Role. They fucking love playing D&D.
label of geek and hobbyist, there were far too many parts of their new hobby that were way too embarrassing to bring up in the polite left-wing circles of intelligentsia that most of them either already frequented or aspired to be a part of.
I'm confused. Are you mad that the thing you like is now popular and you won't get made fun of for it or anymore? I don't know what he's mad about. Just that other people are playing it in a way he wouldn't? I don't know.
Imagining something was not an option to them, because this was not about their private enjoyment. It was about their public perception. It was never about going on a Dungeons and Dragons adventure. It was about showing off and fitting in.
You think people play Dungeons and Dragons to show off?
Right now I'm playing a little mouse. In my game, his name is Bartleby. He's a little mouse guy who joined a gang. A little mouse guy who joined a gang.
I'm showing off by playing that character. Fucking show off.
The precise opposite of the reason most people got into D&D in the first place previously. And so, of course, the hobby had to change.
What did?
These
Why?
new people were progressive, political, and very left-wing. D&D, meanwhile, was racist, sexist, and homophobic. All evil things. And so D&D itself was, of course, clearly evil.
I think you're overreacting. I've just always loved D&D from the moment I sort of got into the hobby. Like, it's been pretty much, I just really enjoy it. So, I'm a pretty big wokey also. So I don't think I would call Gary Gygax's non-woke D&D evil. Okay? I don't think any leftist is like, this is evil. We wouldn't play it. No, he was just like, old and doesn't really, culture evolves and people's intelligence grows and our education changes and now we want more interesting stories and species makes more sense for the D&D thing between elves and everybody. Like, it just makes more sense. It's all right. If you want to call it races at your table, I don't care. I think that makes more sense in the roleplay style, though. Like, the way that the stats bear out and shit. Basically, they just decoupled the we'll call them race options so he doesn't freak out. The race options, the species options, they no longer give you stat bonuses. They give you, like, special abilities that define your like background. So, like, Fey ancestry, dark vision, stuff like that. And instead, your background and your class like inform your stat at the beginning. So much more interesting.
Wanting to not be evil, D&D then bent over backwards to every demand, removing evil racists. Orcs are just silly little Mexicans now, rather than the societal, civilizational threat they are supposed to be, the outsider, the force that is anathema to the structured world of man, etc. And then D&D went on to remove...
I don't know what's the threat there. Orcs are just silly little Mexicans now? I suppose so.
races in general.
He's not even doing it correctly. He's mostly using the back of his throat to roll the R's, not the tip of his tongue. It is very strange. He doesn't have a good grasp on it still after all these years.
And of course adding in things like magical wheelchairs, making dungeons handicap accessible.
Why aren't you sharing who wrote this article?
And societies filled, of course, by Californians.
Those damn Californians.
Because the new people did not want to, or were simply unable to imagine any new world, so they simply recreated our world.
How? In what way?
With dwarfs now of every race and every gender, working every job with no stereotypes. And of course, everyone in this new world
Working every job with no stereotypes. Okay. If you want to have, for some reason, racist dwarves, you can. You can, if you want. I don't know what you're... Do you want them to segregate dwarves, or do you want them to be no lady dwarves? You want just a bunch of gay man dwarves? Is that your fantasy? Live it, buddy. I don't care. All the dwarves, no genders but men. Hairy men sweating in the forges and waging war on the backs of goats. Don't ask what they do with the goats.
is gay. To the point where the
I was right.
art piece that partially prompted this video, well, there is not a single straight pairing in the entire picture.
Straight pairing? I mean, what's happening right here? This seems to be heterosexuality. I don't know. A straight pairing? Are these two gay? I don't even know. Are these two gay? They could just be buds. Like, it looks like they're just partying. I don't know that there are any pairings. Maybe there are? I don't know why. You have to... And how do you know what's going on here? Just based on the arms? In the original D&D lore, dwarves' genetics are so powerful, anyone who has a child with a dwarf, that child will be a dwarf no matter what the mix is. In D&D lore. I love the idea of half-dwarves. I think they just didn't want to add all the half races. I love having a little dwarf in you, though.
It is in many ways the perfect example of the inclusivity the left has brought. In other words, the absolute exclusion of the overwhelming majority. And this is hardly some crazy
How is it exclusion? You feel excluded when you look at this? It's like a Rorschach test. You feel excluded? Why? You could be in this scene just fine. I don't understand why you couldn't be here. Is it because you don't have a cute boyfriend that gives you a little dip on the dance floor under a rainbow? Do you want a cute boy to do that? Maybe you should play D&D with Wogies.
exception. This particular art piece was part of a Pride-related merch sale.
Oh no, not the corporate takeover of Pride. No, rainbow capitalism from the Hasbro Corporation. This shit just rolls off my back, dude.
The politics of the LGBTQIA+ is by now impossible
Ooh, he didn't say anything. He didn't say, like, alphabet.
to
Maybe he will.
separate from D&D. A quick browse through their recent art reveals very few dragons, but a lot of strange, a lot of gay, and a lot of checkbox diversity of the most strident and ridiculous kind.
You find... I'm sorry. I was born with a fucking spine. What is wrong with what I'm looking at here? What part of it's upsetting you? Can you describe it to me? I'm trying to see where where he's upset.
This isn't merely what D&D is to the public now. It is what D&D is.
Diversity is what's making him upset? Why? But okay, have you ever had a D&D party that was all the same race and like looked the same? Me either. He's just a Nazi. Yeah. If you want to have Nazi D&D games, you can play those. You're probably going to have a hard time populating the game with players, and if you do, I would be surprised if that lasted, but you can do it. We all play Human Fighters, let's go. I personally would fucking love to be like 4 dwarves. I would fucking love that.
Now. And I point out yet again that yes, you can imagine, you can
30th.
pretend it's not.
What's wrong with this?
But maybe.
Does he think it's gay? It's gay to chat over a salad? You can't chat?
You can. Depends on which
He would never smile at another man.
consent sheet you signed, I do suppose.
Are you comfortable with romance scenarios for other players? NPCs with NPCs? Your character with NPCs? For your character with another player's character? Are you comfortable with gore? No. Comfortable with your character being yelled at? Being chased? Being confined in small spaces? No spiders. I think this is fine. This kind of stuff specifically is used at cons when you're playing with a bunch of randoms. Like, a bunch of friends usually don't have to... Like, you can talk about it, especially if someone's, like, really freaked out about shit. But I've only ever seen these in, like, public play spaces where it's, like, real quick and you're just, like, kind of getting to know everybody. And then you try to get everybody's information. I don't know if I would even be able to remember this stuff, so... The relationship stuff wouldn't come up for me in that scenario anyway. You can see all these dice, too. Yeah.
But that is nothing more than cope. And
If you don't want to use this, don't use it. I don't care.
slow, gradual surrender as you abandon bastion after bastion. The thing you once
Bastion.
knew as D&D has long since been taken away from you. And never,
How?
at any moment,
It's a thought. D&D is a concept. You have dice, you have a brain. Play it yourself without any of their shit. Or don't. Play a different game. They have a million different games.
not in a singular instance.
Every version of the DMG since forever says it's all guidelines and do what you want. All of them. Even Gary's.
Did the people who took it away from you ever argue that maybe they should just imagine too that some concession should be made for the traditional players?
Did you take your face off the screen because you knew that it was not the best representative for your viewpoints, but now you've replaced it with a rant Sona who doesn't fucking move at all? This is very hard to watch. I'm wondering if he's like losing viewership.
This is
Yeah,
why
nothing's been taken from him.
my coexistence is impossible.
Why? This is cropped by his own doing. I don't know why he's incapable of putting a picture on a screen.
Impossible. You cannot have one side demanding for everything to be painted in their colors, for their flag to be raised up above all other things, and then have
It's just about rainbow stuff for him.
an opposition who simply says, oh well,
Those are hard to read. I would have to paint the numbers in.
I can just imagine that it would be different. This is not a compromise.
Not a compromise. I think just don't purchase the gay dice. That's what I've done. And I'm pro the gays. I'm in favor of all of the gays. And I didn't buy the gay dice. I think it's okay to just relax. I'm not even... How could you possibly spend your time being upset all the time?
This is not coexistence. This is not even tolerance. This is simply your extinction.
I'm going to speed him up.
And it is absolutely deliberate. The arguments
You're
made in defense
you're
of...
going extinct? I think maybe we should just, look, if you're going extinct, just fucking hurry off the edge of the cliff like a lemming and let the rest of us be, man. There is just no reason to prolong it. If it's just fucked. If you're just going extinct, do it.
It are some of the dumbest I have ever seen. Quite literally, it is nothing more than pretending to not understand, of willful misinterpreting, ignorance as dense as tungsten retardation, used simply as an offensive mechanism. Like this one. No one is forcing your story to be woke, says the person with their allegiance proudly displayed in their name.
No one's forcing you to be woke, yes.
Commenting on an official piece of art for a campaign to sell Pride merchandise from
Yes, it's merch.
the avowedly political company that owns, distributes, and makes Dungeons and Dragons.
Hasbro?
If this isn't forcing your stories to be woke, what, by the god emperor's dangling testicles, could it conceivably be?
Merch? That you don't have to buy? It's literally not that. I don't know how you can even fucking frame this as they're making me be woke when you are saying this picture is an ad for merch. What's the fucking complaint? That you don't like the merch? Then don't buy it. Why are we here? It's so woke to offer dice that are gay. If you touch those dice and roll an at 20, Jumanji rules, you're gay now.
Forget once is happenstance, twice is coincidence, and thrice is enemy action, because we're so far down the line, we've long since lost count. Every level of this is loudly and proudly woke. And to
Loudly and proudly woke. Every time I run my D&D session, a Hasbro representative is sitting there making sure I am woke enough. That's my experience as well. Mike Merle sits over my shoulder. Is he involved still? Jeremy Croft, nope, they fired him. I don't know anybody there anymore.
pretend that it is all some simple, strange coincidence is the height of malicious obtuseness. Not to mention the
Your son is dead. Killed by the woke mind virus.
That he caught playing woke-ass, gay-ass D&D. That's true, Doc.
condescending assumption that this is somehow fooling anyone. As if anyone can still believe that this isn't deliberate, that this still isn't being forced upon you.
I just do not think a tweet is being forced upon you. Nope, I don't think so. I think maybe you doth protest too much.
Tucker Carlson said I'm a weird gay kid in the basement.
Yeah, that seems to be what's happening here. There seems to be an issue with gay stuff makes me feel uncomfortable. It makes me feel like you're forcing me to feel those feelings that I'm running away from. Okay, buddy.
Or the usual excuse of, well, don't you know, D&D was always woke. And why? Well, because of bare-chested barbarians. As in, you see, they are, homoerotic, you must understand.
I think it is a little gay. What do you not think this is a little gay? When you look at this, what do you see? You go, oh yeah, badass. But why? Because he meets some kind of ideal you have about men, and you look at this and you're like, yeah, that's the ideal man for me.
The shirtless barbarian have been a staple trope since before we knew gay people existed. Okay, slight exaggeration. But the point is, from Conan to the original Berserker, meaning bear
It's been gay forever, don't you see? Is this argument?
top, this has simply been a common part of the trope.
It's commonly gay, okay?
And if you cannot look at an image like this without needing to touch yourself, that is very much so a you problem.
Do you think that...
Got a little fresh little piggy here.
Thank you, Dr. Gamble. This badass bulging cock. Yeah, it just makes me want to kill some monsters right away. I don't know. What gets in your jellies about this?
Shared, fortunately, still by a vanishingly small minority of people. An unfortunately loud grouping of people, though.
Do you hear this? They're a vanishingly small group of people that are controlling my life and making me gay. Classic Nazi stuff.
That has made it their mission to put their sexuality on everything, including now also, as with everything else, another push into 40K. And
No, not 40K. No.
I do love, again, how blatant it is. Which, again, brings me to my final point. They claim that the woke just want to be let in, right? That was the original argument, wasn't it? They just want to play the game too. They just want to be tolerated. Bro, can't we play the game as well?
I don't know when this was ever talked about in that way. What? More like 40 gay. Everyone's saying 40 gay. Everyone's saying 40 gay. 40 gay was a parody of your ideology, fascio. He doesn't understand this. He literally has a rant sona in the Starship Troopers Nazi uniforms.
We're not going to get in the way, honest. It is patently and obviously absurd. This was never, demonstrably so, about any amount of equality. It was always about being put up above all others.
There's some D&D art tweeted by the D&D people that you think is a little gay, and now you think they're gay supremacists. You know? Maybe you're a fucking hysterical freak. Have you ever thought that maybe you're just a screeching, hysterical SJW? You're here saying that you can't, no, they don't get free speech, they don't get to make the art they want, everyone's game has to be the same, it scares me to have rainbows. Shut the fuck up, what a little bitch. I'm tired of Nazis. The worst part about Nazis is they're all little fucking babies that are just literally ruled by fear at all times and stress. It's so unnatural to try to force everybody else to be like you when you don't even like being you. You can't even be on screen. You don't even enjoy yourself. Good God.
To have their flags, their slogans, their worldview front and center. And not even that is truly enough, as they will not rest until it has fully replaced every facet of the thing that was once D&D, or 40k, or Star Wars, etc., as we can now again see so clearly with Dungeons and Dragons. That is why there can be no compromise.
Compromise. He forgot how to say the word right. I still don't see a problem with this.
Opposition has already been fighting for total dominance and eradication from the start.
So the weak leftists wokies that are just small, vanishingly small people are dominating you and crushing you and changing your culture, just smashing it to bits. Make it make sense.
They never saw any value in what was there, only evil. And this impression of a sexist, bigoted, homophobic fan base and hobby never wavered at any point, even as they were met at first with open arms and are still, absurdly enough, continued to be met with welcomes now. We continue to humor the argument even today that they...
Who's we? I don't know why he thinks he's a representative of, like, the D&D community or something. Like, he never engages in this hobby.
Just want to play. Yet, of course, no matter how much was surrendered, no matter how many compromises...
Did ChatGPT write this? Is he just like, hey, write me a rant where I'm mad about gay D&D pictures? I don't want to go through the time.
...were made, the assault never ceased. And I want everyone to remember that. The next time you think, or anyone around you thinks, or put forward the thought that it doesn't really matter, it's just another piece of LGBTQIA plus artwork, it's just another piece of the old D&D universe removed, no worse than when they denounced Gygax, or removed races, or declared that the Dark Elves were just misunderstood. Because, surely, this time, it will be enough, right?
You're mad at Dritz? Like, the thing he's just mentioned, maybe the Dark Elves are just misunderstood. This is like from the 80s or 90s when that started. You can definitely have racism in your D&D game. I have racism in my D&D game. It's just not like the kind of racism he has. It's institutional. It's systematic.
Just one more little sacrifice, just one more little thing to be handed over to the ravening wolf, and we'll be tolerant. We will finally be inclusive. After all, you can still always just pretend that none of this is happening.
I don't know. He's just so fucking upset. I'm going to be honest. I heard him bitch about this for 15 minutes, and I know he's upset about the gays, but when he says... You can't pretend this isn't happening. What this is Pride merch ad on Twitter once, it's the end of the world. I gotta cry and shit about it. If I don't cry and take a shit in my pants about this, I'm not even a real Nazi. I don't want other people to think that I don't have the street cred. I don't want other people to think that I'm some kind of fucking wokey. I would never do that. It's just so sad. Someday, hopefully, guys like this just won't be entities on the internet making content. This is just the most fucking mind-numbing, worthless shit. What a waste of their human breath.